Jeannie. Today we are going to go take a quick walk down to my garden, and I wanted to give you an update on what's been happening there. When I planted, the weather was beautiful, and here in the Sierra foothills of California, it's basically, when our storm door closes, we don't get any more frosts or cold snaps, and we had two. So it was just crazy. So I had to replant all my tomatoes and peppers. They all died in that cold snap. It got down to like 27 for a night. So anyway, I want to show you a quick update, and so we'll get started. It's a beautiful day here, and I think from this point forward, it's going to just warm up. There's going to be a little noise from my neighbor who's on his tractor, and I'll show you. I don't know if you can see him up there. Yeah. So here we go. I'm going to show you my garden, which is, let's see, I'm in the shade and in the sun. There it is, right out there. So look at this beautiful day we're having. It's just gorgeous, splendid. So let me show you. Take this raggedness. So you can see we've got a nice deer fencing all the way around it, but the top is open and the holes of the fencing are pretty wide, so birds kind of have free rein to come and go, and that might present a problem. It did last year, and so we put in a mesh roof that was temporary, and we may do that again if we want to protect our tomatoes. So that'll be happening probably pretty soon. So inside here I have four raised planters, and the front two are dedicated to tomatoes. These tomatoes over here are all Romas, and I use those for soups and sauces and canning because they're very meaty. They don't have a lot of water or juice or seeds, so they're nice and thick, so they make a great marinara and spaghetti sauce and whatnot. And then over here I've got celebrities, better boys, early girls, bull's hearts, and all kinds of different varieties that kind of bloom at different times. And we use those for salads and sandwiches, and also to supplement the sauces. Sometimes I just have so many ripe tomatoes that I have to just use them up. And then as we walk down here, you can see some of my peppers, and I've had to start over because the freeze just took them out, and then the second freeze stunted the replant. It was just crazy. Here you see some of the bell peppers growing, and I'll wait for those to redden up. And I've got cayenne peppers and jalapeno peppers, and then these are all just mixed peppers, yellow, red, green bell peppers. And then I've got my eggplant, which has lots of flowering and I see signs of eggplant growth. And then next to it is our yellow squash with lots of flowering. And I love simple grilled squash. You just brush it with olive oil and a sprinkle of salt and pepper and maybe a little bit of garlic powder and onion powder. And boom, just flap them on the grill or in a cast iron pan and blacken them. It's so good. See all the different tomatoes in there. Just beautiful. And what I'm really looking for at this point in time is that all the growth is staying pretty much inside the cages. Some goes out, you can't control that. And also that we don't have blossom and rot underneath. I don't know if you can see that or not. To making sure my watering is consistent. And so you can see, I know it's pretty windy. You might hear a lot of wind. I hope not. I've got to come out and fix this hose or replace it, this dripping hose, because the holes are way too big there and it kind of floods, and then these far ends don't get as much. So these are my herbs. And I've got my rosemary growing very nicely. Oh, it just smells so good. Look how beautiful that is. And I've got oregano. Oh, it smells so good. And we've been chomping on a lot of our lettuces. They did well, and they're mostly missing except for this last one, and we might get a couple more salads out of that. And my chives are doing very well. We use those, in various recipes, but then I'll also bring them in and dry them and just use them throughout the winter dried. And the dill is looking a little on the anemic side, and it's been trying to bolt, so I need to kind of keep pruning that. And then of course the basil, which we love when the tomatoes come in. Basil and tomatoes and mozzarella and balsamic. And then some sweet marjoram here. Yeah. And I dry a lot of this for soups and stews and various dishes. And the cilantro is kind of, I've never had a lot of luck with cilantro. I don't know why. I love cilantro. I know there are people who genetically cannot eat it because it can't taste good no matter what. And then there's some mint in here as well. And then my thyme. My thyme has just taken off and done really, really well. So that is the status of my garden. And it's only going to be getting warmer and warmer from here, so I just have to watch the watering. And then enclose it. Look how beautiful today is. I know I keep saying that, but it is. Look at that. So last year, the Caldor fire, you can Google it, was right over that hill. And it was a little scary, but for us, thankfully, the winds headed away from us. We have a very defensible property, which is good because if a fire were to take off in that canyon or those hills, we will be an easy house to defend. So that was a smart move. And this is our little Stonehenge. We had all these boulders moved to this area when we were grading the land, and we had them put in a circle. And there's a fire pit in there. And I'm going to put some Adirondack chairs around in there so that on some evenings we can just have a little fire and sit around and enjoy our little Stonehenge. We've had to cage in so many things because of the deer. They will just come and ravage everything. So all the trees we put in had to be caged, as you can see. The grasses, thankfully, they don't bother, like those over there on the side. They haven't bothered them. But come the hot summer, they will probably be up this way. And we've got roses, like bush roses all along here. And they will probably try and eat them. They did last year, but they came back, so we're very happy about that. Look how beautiful it is today. They have not bothered with our Japanese boxwood on our front porch entry area. But they do come and try and get the jasmine. So that is often problematic, but it comes back, as you can see. Let's see. But it's very peaceful here, and right now the weather isn't too hot. It's just perfect, mid to high 70s Fahrenheit. But I know next week we're going to be into the high 80s and low 90s, which is normal for our summer, and very, very dry. So I hope you enjoyed a little bit of this, my garden tour, and a little bit of our property tour. And I will see you in the next video.